Hello, class. So today we are preparing for the Romeo and Juliet test. I'm going to make hopefully two videos for you here, walking you through some of the important things from the packet review pages. I believe this is packet pages 33 and 34. Hopefully, just like visually, you can tell which pages they are by looking. Um, Hold up. Why is this not loading? Either way, we'll get there when we get there. All right. So hopefully you can identify these pages. I'm pretty sure it's 33 and 34, but it's um, yeah, the plot structure, the plot diagram, taking you through the five different parts of the play. And I've broken it down for you on the left, kind of when that section of the story begins and ends, starting with the exposition, which for this play is basically the prologue and just the first 99 lines of Act 1, Scene 1. And it establishes all of the important information that we need to know going into the play. And on a basic level, it's just that there's the feud between the Montagues and the Capulets, and that their kids, Romeo and Juliet, are actually in love with each other. And so they're sneaking around trying to have their relationship while the fighting is going on. Okay, that's the exposition in a nutshell. On the other hand, as we continue moving forward, we get the rising action. Don't be distracted by this plot structure thing. This is related to the entire page. The rising action is this box that you see right here. And that begins basically at Act 1, Scene 1, line 100. So when the exposition phase ends. And then the rising action goes all the way until Act 4, Scene 2, right? So that includes, obviously, a lot of things that happen throughout the play. That includes things like Romeo first being in love with Rosalind, telling his friends about it, and then eventually meeting Juliet at the party, them falling in love and getting married. On the other hand, for Juliet, the fact that she's going to marry Paris, and then she meeting Romeo at the party, them falling in love, getting married. Most of that happens in Act 2. A little bit of it happens in Act 1. And then we get into Act 3. That's when Romeo gets in that big fight with Tybalt, gets himself banished. And then scene 4 is when the Capulets kind of decide, okay, we're gonna. Actually, this is the end of scene 3 as well. Scenes 3 or Act 3 and Act 4, the Capulets proceed with Juliet's wedding to Paris plans, mostly because they think that she's so sad about Tybalt dying, even though she's actually sad about Romeo getting banished. So again, the rising action covers a lot of information, all the way from the beginning of Act 1 almost to the middle of Act 4. And most of the conflicts have to do with, um, excuse me, either the romantic involvement between Romeo and Juliet or the feud, so the fighting between the families. And then the third kind of main conflict would just be each kind of Romeo with his family and Juliet with her family. Those are kind of the three main um, conflicts that are going on during the rising action, and all of them are getting worse, right? The feud is getting worse, people are dying. The love triangle situation, in other words, Romeo, Juliet, kind of Paris, that whole situation is getting messier and more dramatic. And last but not least, the relationship between Romeo and his family is becoming more and more separate, and then the relationship between Juliet and her family uh, is becoming more and more strained as they try to tell her what to do more. And I think that's it for now for the rising action. If you have questions, let me know at office hours. But that's the exposition, rising action so far, and then we get to the climax of the play. And I would say that's basically Act 4, Scene 3 through 5. So in this section, it's it's basically the night before and the morning of the wedding that Juliet is supposed to have to Paris, and it's when she drinks that poison, the potion that the friar gave her. And at this point, the way I think of it is there's no going back now, right? Once Juliet takes the potion, Juliet has chosen freedom and love. The friar's whole plan